This is Bucket Talk, a monthly podcast taking you across America to meet the most badass tradespeople, industry leaders, and personalities. If you're looking to level up in the trades, you're in the right place. We're in Moorhead, Kentucky at Cottle's gas station with Joe Samaan, owner and operator, and he also goes by 5 on the diesel.
5 on the diesel, Joe Gotti. There's a million things.
But we're out here to, most tradesmen and women either start their day, end their day, end up in here at some point in time throughout the day. This is kind of like a second home for a lot of us, especially if we're on the road and whatnot. But there's a lot more to it than just candy bars and cigarettes. And we're gonna get into the nitty gritty of, obviously fuel management, fuel system, fuel buying, to property management, property maintenance, and then just like overall real estate and trends and all sorts of stuff. But Joe, thanks for being on the podcast.
Good to see you, brother.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me, and thank you for coming all the way out here.
Hell yeah.
To do this. This is great.
Yeah, no, you've been a friend of the BRUNT family for a while, and we obviously enjoy your content. It's hilarious and spot on. But let's kind of start with, you're a generational gas station owner, and you know what? We talked about this. Maybe our old man can shed a little light on it. I might have to hand him the microphone, but like we were talking about as we were doing a little walk around and getting to know each other a little bit better, full service gas stations, and kind of like when the switch from this full-time blue collar, still had a garage, still cleaned your windows, still did all this stuff, to now, and kind of why that trend happened. But
now people want to put their card in the pump and leave right away.
They don't. They don't want to talk to anybody. But no, it's kind of cool. Did you actually own
I pumped there in people's gas.
Yeah.
Yes, I did, and checked their oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in 1981.
Okay.
82,
Yeah.
When I first started with my dad. I first started with my dad. My dad bought a gas station.
So there's 3 generations.
3 generations gas station owner.
We picked it up. My dad bought 1980. He bought a gas station. I started working for him in 81.
So he should be on the podcast. Because it looks like it got softer over time. You guys.
He can go all day if you all.
He used to have to walk out there, pump people's gas, and come back in. You just get to sit behind the desk.
Oh yeah, is it? Yeah, he had changed their oil.
And when we was pumping gas, you have to pull the license plate to fill up gas. There was no such a thing on the side.
Oh, okay.
That's how far I remember. You have to pull the license plate down to pump the gas.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Fuel runs through your blood.
Yeah. 1 gallon at a time. 1 gallon at a time, son.
But so you had a unique opportunity of, obviously your dad's owned gas stations. You've worked at them. But how'd this opportunity come about?
Playing poker. So I'm in another business. I wanted to come back to the gas station business. Like you said, he's been doing it his whole life. I got into the business. Is actually how I started doing my content. So people always go, "Why are you still working at the gas station?" I was like, "Well, that's where I do my content, and that's where I got started." Yeah. You know what I mean? So I got started in the gas station. I wanted to come back. I talked to a guy, and gas stations are really hard to come by right now. Mm-hmm. The market is just saturated, so the competition's got harder to buy them. Mm-hmm. And we've been here for 40 years, so a lot of people start becoming doctors or becoming engineers, and gas station business wasn't enough for them.
Yeah.
So, I have a lot of cousins. They started in it, and now don't even think about it. They would never run a gas station.
Right.
I've been in it since I was like 14, working in it. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, I got off track. We were playing cards. I told him to look for a store. I'm sorry. Told him to look for a store. He told me about this one. We went, looked at it. The owner of the building, he agreed to lease it to us. Yeah. And we just did our due diligence, did all of our work, because in any business you buy, you need to make sure what you're getting into before you do it.
So you bought a pretty much, the gas station had been closed for 3 years, but Doc Cottle, is that?
Yeah.
So Doc Cottle,
he owned it for 30 years.
Wow.
He had some health issues. He got older and he couldn't run it no longer.
Right. So you had to go through the entire building, roof, siding, flooring, cabinets.
Yeah. Everything is fully done.
Yep.
Completely done. The only thing we didn't do is the tanks and the pumps.
Yep.
Pumps we might do. But we're still only a month into the store, so we'll see how much volume we're doing before we want to make the investment, make sure it's the right investment for us.
Yeah, and we were talking about how, basically tank replacement is a big endeavor, which you didn't have to do, but
It's very expensive and it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, you have to dig a almost 20-foot deep hole. You know, and tanks come in different sizes. They used to come you used to get them separate, and they used to be stainless steel.
Yeah.
Now they're fiberglass double walled.
Yeah.
And you can get one tank 20,000 gallons with certain compartments in it. Like, you know, like 3,000 diesel, 6,000 unleaded. Just depending on what kind of store you have and what you sell more of, is you could customize the tank the way you want it.
yeah. Now I was looking at your fuel selection. So you have kerosene, on-road diesel, and you know, obviously regular, mid-grade, and super premium or premium. Is there a difference between super premium and premium, or is that just branding?
That's just branding, right? Super.
Octane.
yeah.
The octane.
Okay.
Now the plus, what happened? You don't have a tank. You don't have a tank for the plus. The plus mixture of super unleaded and regular. I think like 70, either 60-40. You know.
Or 70-30.
So when you push the button on the plus.
Yeah.
So you get mixture of regular unleaded and super. They meet, and then it comes to. It's
Yeah.
really neat.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you don't-
Yeah, a
you
lot
don't
of
have a
people-
tank for that.
Ah.
A lot of people think it's just a separate.
It's just a blend.
It's just a blend.
Okay.
They
Blend
blend. They somehow they meet and
They go
get
together.
certain amount.
That's cool. That's cool.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Now
I didn't
you
know
do.
that until now.
Yeah.
Why kerosene? Do you got a lot of?
Kerosene in especially smaller towns is used to heat homes and whatnot. I would like to switch it to an off-road diesel because there's more farmers here.
Yep.
And they'd use it for their tractor equipment.
Yeah.
Off-road diesel is red dye diesel.
Yep.
And can only be used on farm equipment, or because it's not taxed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's the same with boats and gas. Like there's a different price for gas at marinas, and wildly enough, it's usually higher.
It's higher. I think it's just higher because they just choose to make it higher. Doesn't a boat just take regular gas?
Yeah. Unless it's a diesel, and then it can use
It's
off
hard
road.
to get to
To the marinas?
Tanks, so they go
okay,
charge
yeah.
more, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense.
Which was actually pretty interesting because prior to this call, prior to the podcast, you were on a call about, whatever company called you.
The gas company called me, and I'm guessing on their end, had a truck close to here, and maybe a store didn't fit all the gas in their tank, and
Yeah.
they had 3,000 gallons left over.
Yeah.
If usually you don't want to order 3,000 gallons because the tanker holds 8,000 gallons, and if you don't order a full 8,000 gallons, you're going to get charged more. It's called a full freight.
Yeah.
You're going to get like 3 pennies more on the
So
gallon.
is this a usual thing? Do you constantly wheeling and dealing, or
Not usually. Maybe it just happened. That was actually, I haven't had that happen this month. They probably in a tough spot. They don't want to bring it's not feasible for them to bring the gas back to the plant.
Yeah.
So if they can get rid of it, it'll work out for both of us actually, because I got 3,000 gallons. I didn't have to buy 8,000 gallons at full freight.
It's kind of funny in the trades. You actually see that a lot. You see that with like paving and asphalt companies. You see that with like millings or what have you. That people sometimes discount the time of the operator and B, the fuel costs and the housing costs. So sometimes getting rid of these products, whether it's asphalt or whatever, at a discount actually saves them money.
Oh yeah.
So it's always good to be tied in and willing to. So it helped you out, but it also helped him out.
Oh yeah. I didn't have to invest as much money on 8,000 gallons and get charged more by getting a 3,000 gallon. So and it was he told me the price. It was a good price.
Good stuff. Yeah. So let's start at the pumps. You have, we walked through the whole gas side and the mixtures and the different stuff you need to do, but you constantly have weights and measures out here to.
Weights and measures comes once a year. They just make sure that you're not, screwing the customer. And sometimes you're not screwing the customer. Sometimes there's just issues with the pump, and that's why they come out, just to ensure that the customer's getting a full gallon. That's what they're checking for. And sometimes your pump actually might be dispensing more gas, but if it's dispensing more, they don't say anything. You're good to go.
So I'm gonna, spoiler alert, I'm gonna debunk a myth. And then I'm going to tell you the myth now. But it was interesting, like growing up, people had always told me not to fill up while there's a tanker in the lot because it stirs up the sediment or what have you. But you've reassured me that there's a number of basically filters and what have you that it would never reach your gas tank. But
another thing I didn't mention also, when he's dropping gas in there, that tank keeps a minimum of 200 gallons left in the tank.
Okay.
At all times.
Really?
And if you wanted it out, they would have to come pump it out.
Okay.
So if I have 300 gallons in the ground, that's what we call it, in the ground because it's in the ground, and I don't have 300 gallons to sell. I only have 100 left to sell.
So your pickup tube doesn't it doesn't go all the way down. It leaves a 200.
It leaves 200 gallons in there.
What's the reason for it?
It's a sensoring issue, and I think it's also it's an environmental thing.
Okay.
Why do they leave 200 gallons in the tank, Dad?
That's all the pump can reach.
All the pump can reach. Oh, I guess.
It doesn't go all the way down. If it doesn't go all the way down, it pick up the whatever.
Oh, the sediment.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So water goes down. Every tank got a little bit of water.
Yeah. So you have an apartment above here.
Yeah.
You ever thinking of renting it out, or is that just for your...
Right now, we only have one employee, and me and my dad are working, so I slept here last night. I came at 10 o'clock, I worked till 9, I slept here, and I opened at 5. Well, I opened at 6, but I got up here and made breakfast and stuff at 5. So right now, I'm going to just stay up there. I don't know if I'm going to rent it, because I don't know if I want anybody upstairs while there's this operational store. I'd have to do some security measure. You know, I don't want someone to come and make a bologna sandwich in the middle of the night, you know, grab them a pop.
Well, they can't, because they need to have a food handler's license.
Yeah, exactly. that was... Put it on my charge account. They leave me a note.
No, but I mean, that's crazy. Like, again, though, these walk and talks are just so enlightening. That was producer Mac's idea. But what's interesting is the amount of regulation that you go through when it comes to food handling, not tobacco in the state of Kentucky, but everything else.
Everything else.
From fuel to fire suppression to weights and measures to you name it. There's a permit for everything. There's a permit for everything. And
money, baby.
That's crazy.
Everything's about money.
And it's kind of where it all kind of swirls together is at a gas station.
Yeah, because you're selling so many different things. Just like our old gas station was a full-blown restaurant inside. So you're thinking about it. You're selling gas, full-blown restaurant. You have more employees because of the restaurant, so there's different food handler licenses. Just so much more that goes into it. Yeah. That's why I kind of like this store. It's kind of a smaller store, and it's not as big of a headache to run. Yeah. You know what I mean?
What is the least amount of money somebody has put on a gas purchase?
I think someone gave me 25 cents.
Really?
Yeah, and I took that damn 25 cents too. Yeah, 25 cents. We used to always say they used to get what the pump number was. So if you're on pump 1, you get $1. So these guys, this is how they pump gas. Yeah. So let me get 25 cents on that. That's why I got the 5 on the diesel. I didn't just make that up. A guy come in here and he said, let me get 5 on the diesel. I said, you're getting in a truck, a big truck, 5 on the diesel. Yeah. I said, brother, you got problems. And then he got a $20 scratcher. I hope you won on that song, gun.
Priorities.
Well, if you went on the scratcher, you have a chance to get about $100 in diesel. Maybe he's thinking maybe we're wrong.
So what's your number one seller for tradesmen in here? Is it Monster? Is it
it's
Red
just
Bull?
Energy drinks, chew, and warmer food usually.
Not
beef
Slim Jims?
Yeah, chew, beef jerkies. Yeah. Anything really. I always say I'm serving the blue collar community.
Yeah.
I'm serving them in here.
Which is actually a huge point. So you obviously went through the pandemic. Everybody remembers that. But you were deemed essential. Trade workers were deemed essential, and you were basically hustling and bustling, supporting them.
Oh yeah.
Throughout the trade.
The essential worker, and we actually you kind of got a little bit busier. Yeah. You know, because you're the only store open.
He's like, bring it back.
Yeah, bring me back open, son. We had a drive-through too, so it made it even at our old store.
No, so that's cool. Well, COVID wasn't cool, but
COVID, yeah.
You know, there were a few good things that came out of
it. No, but like you said, man, serving I would honestly say 80% of gas station customers are usually blue collar workers, trade workers, and they're the best people to deal with. Honestly, I love they're not picky. Yep. You know. Yep. They don't bother me. They want to get their stuff. They want to get out. You can bullshit with them. you know, bust their balls a little bit.
So you must be in a safe community because your bathroom is unlocked in public.
Yeah.
Dude, that is daring.
That's a city thing, man. Yeah, that's a city thing. They always got the key on something random.
Like a broom?
Like a broom, a wrench.
In the summer, they chain up the chairs when we go out of the restaurant.
Really?
No.
Yeah, that's.
I remember the gas station was the bathroom outside, and you have to put 10 cents.
Oh, really? Charged to use the bathroom?
Actually, I liked it up in Maine. A lot of the rural gas stations, they just put a porta-john outside.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that makes sense.
you can go blow it up, throw cigarettes in it, whatever. But you know, the employees got their own bathroom, which is inside, and
I'll go upstairs take a dump. I'll tear that son of a up.
I'm sure you've had some messes in there.
Gas stations are notorious to have like.
Oh, because you're coming in unbuckling your pants.
I don't know how people. Sometimes I feel like people are doing like handstands while they take a shit. I'm like, how'd you get pissed right there? I don't understand. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I picture.
How often you gotta clean it?
Yo, you gotta clean it every day. And a gas station bathroom is key to a good operating. A lot of people stop, especially women. They want to stop where it's notorious that the gas station's clean. You know
and that's what you like. I was totally impressed with your outfit. Like, obviously it's newer, but you know everything is clean and neat and no dust, and you're running quite the operation here. That, like, you know, I'm sure it didn't take long to get your clientele back up, and
not as long as I thought it would.
Yeah,
and we're still gaining it. Like we were talking earlier, man. We're all creatures of habits. And, you know, you got to get that person a reason to stop with you and, you know, build that habit again of stopping, you know, passing by and realizing that you're open.
Now, I don't think anybody from this area is going to see this, so I'm gonna make mention of something that I saw while your father was there. This man thought the price of the Stokers was a little too high and was about to leave. And he goes, I'll do it for 18.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, though? We've, like, that sense of community that you know, that lost art of the negotiation or retaining your customer or whatever. I mean, that's key to a business's success. I mean, yes, you eat into your margins a little bit, but then he'll come back and buy something else.
You want to have volume, just like location.
Yep.
If your location's not that good, you sometimes have to eat on some stuff.
Yeah.
And he's really good about that. Why would you have that guy? He's already in here. Why would you have him go out somewhere else, go buy it?
Yeah.
He's in here right now.
Yeah.
Okay, you might lose $1 on it, or maybe you break even on it.
Yeah.
But he might get diesel. He might come tomorrow in a big truck. You might not know. He might get food here.
Yeah.
And you go make money on that.
Yeah.
So people are stubborn. This is not a business to be stubborn in.
Yeah.
Because customer service is, you deal with so many customers on a daily basis.
So what excited you about this property in general? The fact that, like, the location was good, competition was not around, didn't take much to get it running, like...
I was a little mix of both. Mm-hmm. We didn't buy the property, so the investment wasn't as high.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as risky as if you put a bunch of money to purchase the property, plus the gas station and the outfit.
Okay.
Plus, there's not much competition out here. Mm-hmm. And it's when you're in the business for so long, you can kind of just walk. Mm-hmm. He knows. My dad knows right here. He can look at it and go, it'll work or it won't work.
Yeah.
Or let's give it a try. Or it's like a sixth sense.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's since we've been in here, this place has been like booming, and I don't know if it was, you know, morning commute or whatever, but all kinds coming in here buying all different things. Mm-hmm. And really just kind of getting their day started. And
how many boots have you counted walking in here?
Oh, I don't know, 20?
Every foot walked in here had a boot on it?
Yeah.
There's not much tennis shoes.
No. It's definitely, you know, as we were coming in from Lexington, it's nothing but farm fields.
Yeah. This is a beautiful area.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like, I look out there sometimes and I just see the mountain line.
Yeah. And the tractor trailers that are abandoned across the street, those are beautiful too.
We got an excavator in the back.
I saw that. You had a deer, an old John Deere backhoe. Is that yours now?
No, that's my landlord's.
You don't get to get in it and play a little bit?
He said if I want to get in it, but I don't.
When do you think the last time that thing's run?
He ran it the other day.
No.
I swear to God, I saw it.
Now, you guys get snow up here?
Oh, yeah, we get snow.
So, who does all your plowing and stuff? Is that you guys?
Well, I haven't figured that out, but he's gonna. My landlord mows.
Okay.
He has a mowing company, so if you mow, usually you do snow plowing.
Oh, yeah?
You'd be dumb not to.
Yeah.
You know
Do
what I mean?
you get a lot of snow out?
You can have a year where all you get is snow. Like this year, all we're getting is rain. This is the worst. Rain can ruin your business.
Yeah.
It's not the best, you know what I mean? When it rains, I'm not saying your gas station is going to be slow, but you're not going to do as much business as when it's sunny outside. Because you're selling ice, pop, people are mowing, filling up gas, going to the lake, you know what I mean? There's just more people want to get out. No one wants to get out.
What's the best day for business? Is it on the weekends? Is it Monday morning?
Friday.
Payday?
Payday. Friday. Some stores are really good Sunday stores.
Okay.
You know? And some stores are just busy all the time.
So do you stay late? Do you stay open later on Fridays, or that doesn't matter?
No, I might change my hours. Sundays are actually pretty slow here. A lot of people get out of church. They eat lunch and they go home.
Mm-hmm.
Mondays seems to be a little busier.
Yeah. What's your number one selling sandwich?
Bologna.
Bologna and cheese.
And that specific Conn's bologna.
With mayonnaise? Or
Everyone
without?
gets it. A lot of people get it with just cheese and mayonnaise.
I like it with mustard, pickle, and onion. You try that. Avocado bologna sandwich.
Okay.
Oh, it's delicious. I'm gonna have to make y'all some.
Now, do you have Duke's mayo? You use Hellman's?
Forgot the name of it. It's through my distributor. Duke's is amazing though. I like
Duke's is fantastic.
Duke's is good.
I
like Hellman's too.
I was at a rodeo in North Carolina, and the hot dog vendor was outside, and she's like, "You got to try it this way." It was a hot dog with Duke's mayo on it. And I was
really?
Like,
That's what they
I
do,
like
man.
mayo.
In LA, they put mayonnaise on it.
I mean, it's basically like fried bologna at that point.
Oh, fried bologna is the best. That's what they get here too. Fried bologna, chubble bologna, son.
So when you started the 5 on the Diesel thing, it came from that one particular instance, but a lot of those skits are either based in fact or has kind of happened. What's the funniest interaction you've had with the tradesman being on the other side of the counter?
Well, I will say this: tradesmen usually have the best one-liners.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They just say that's hilarious.
You got to give me a couple of them.
Oh, he's got. Now you got me on the spot. What did one tell me the other day? One guy come up to me and he's like, "You hear about that that lady that had a boy that was born with a full mustache?" And I was like, "No." He goes, "His mom was tickled to death."
And they just come in and fire them out.
Yeah.
I saw this one. I'm gonna take it as mine because if I do some stand up, I'm gonna use this. But I did zip my. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I did zip my zipper. That's pretty bad, huh?
At an old age or as a young age?
Oh, last week. Yeah, I can't wear zip up boots anymore.
I think we need that.
See that? I should. You know what? That's why we shouldn't make zip up boots.
Yeah, see, that's hilarious.
Somebody's had to come in and tell you a crazy story.
Crazy story or just like crazy customer interaction.
Yeah, when you're in a gas station, it could be every day is different. You just see, either the crackheads outside looking for cigarette buds, or but tradesmen tend to be, bust each other's balls a little bit.
Yeah.
They love to come in and say, "Boy, you behind this counter, you got soft hands, son." Yeah, you don't know what a hard day of work is, and that's where I get my content inspiration.
Yeah.
Is just dealing with this, and they know they're just bullshit with me. I mean, it isn't physically a hard job, but because they truly get up and they go to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's tough.
Well, I mean, also, without you, we wouldn't be able to go through our day. I mean,
Of course.
legitimately.
Yeah, that's why we like this business too.
We don't have our tobacco products and soon to have beer.
You ain't got my zins.
Nope. Yep.
Scratch offs, gotta have scratch offs.
Yep.
You want to stop somewhere, You asked my dad earlier what made you get in this business. He said a monkey can do it. Listen, my dad.
He said a monkey could do it, yet he's negotiating fuel costs.
He downgrades everything a little bit.
Yeah, no. And so then you moved on. You also do comedy on the side.
I do comedy, jack of all trades, master of none.
Yep.
If I have the time, my real goal is to operate this, get it nice operating, and then I actually do want to get into stand up, get me a nice set, and then go on the road.
Yeah.
Eventually.
So is your most of your content, is it trades related, or what do you do for like your comedic
stand up?
Yeah.
So that's actually funny. So I mixed in a lot of Middle Eastern, and I mixed in working at the gas station, jokes like I just told you.
Yeah.
But then Sean Latham, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
The $20 chef.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I opened for him a few times, and
Okay.
he's a great comedian.
Yeah.
And one day I bombed really bad. And
Really?
he just said, "What are you doing, man? Just go out there and be yourself and act like we know what people know you for." I went out there, started doing my act, almost like I was doing my content on the stage.
Yeah.
Killed, so people like that, and I don't know what I was even trying to switch it up for. Maybe I was just trying to be like, oh, it's not real stand-up if you're not doing joke punchline.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's a new day and age of stand-up. To be honest with you, stand-up comedians are different. A lot of stand-up comedians now, we're content creators, and people hate that. But
Some people just run around in the crowd.
yeah. A lot of everything's crowd work now.
Yeah, exactly.
But me personally, I love crowd work.
I've been watching this guy. He's actually over in the UK. Paul's the Joker. Half the time I can't understand him because he's got such a thick English accent. But that's all he does is pick people out of the crowd, and it's the funniest thing.
I think it's the most. I saw a guy getting mad because he said comedians all they do is crowd work, and I was like, that's what people like to watch.
Don't sit in the front row.
Yeah. Plus, whenever you post your stand up online, you don't want to post your material because you want people to come see you. You don't want to put all your material out there, so you post crowd work.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. I like to get a stand up with just blue collar workers in the crowd. That would be a rowdy. That'd be a rowdy, and I wouldn't have to ever worry about what I say because they don't give a. That would be so cool.
Not only would it be sick, but it'd probably be the biggest brawl, and they'd probably run out of alcohol. So Moorhead, right? Moorhead, Kentucky. This place is absolutely rooted in blue collar. For you, is that being like a pillar of the community, like a sense of community? It's important to you, right?
It's very important. In small towns, community is number one.
Yeah.
Always number one in a small town, man. I mean, that's all that that's where you actually some people take for granted because that strong community base is actually a blessing. It's really nice to have because they'll give you the shirt off their back for you.
And you guys got a paper mill up the street or a lumber mill?
It's called a what is it called? I've been saying stave mill.
A stave mill. Do you know what a stave mill is?
Yeah, like how you build the barrels for the whiskey.
Yep.
It's not the top part. It's I guess they call it a stave. The wooden parts on the side.
Oh, like the little slats that they band together?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. He has like 4 or 5 of them. He has that. He has all around. He has them in different countries.
How close is the Bourbon Trail to here?
Bourbon's in Frankfurt, so it's kind of fun.
Okay.
That's also when you were talking about whenever doing our due diligence, you want to look at somewhere where factories are.
Yeah.
So they have 40 to 60 people working.
Yeah.
It's not a ton, but it's something. You're going to get some
But you got the
traffic
logging
over.
trucks.
Yeah. You got loggers coming through. Their employees are going to come eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can get them in there. So that's some things you look at when you want to open a gas station.
Yeah, that's crazy. Outside, what's the number one crop or agriculture out of here? Is it? I passed the sheep farm up there.
I'm pretty sure it's tobacco.
Really?
Tobacco is the number one crop here. Yeah.
Really?
Right? Tobacco. It was. We have tobacco in the bourbon industry.
Yeah.
And then horse racing in Kentucky.
Horse racing.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 good things.
Three of the best ones.
Alcohol, tobacco, and horse racing. That's a new.
You ever been to the Derby?
Yeah, I did. I went with my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time. We had a friend that lived in Ohio, so we went to her house and then drove down. So we drove through Kentucky. I don't know if you were old enough to know Big Butter Jesus. You ever heard of that?
No.
So there's this big church, like one of the mega churches, but there was this massive statue of Jesus that came out of the water.
Oh, really?
And it looked like it was made out of butter. And so when I saw
Sound
it,
like Texas Roadhouse to me. You just described Texas Roadhouse.
Cracker Barrel. Yeah. But it was funny. She pointed it out to us. I didn't put any stock into it, but I guess it got struck by lightning either the next year or the year after, and this whole Big Butter Jesus just burnt down. But not to get sidetracked, we drove through Kentucky and ended up at Louisville.
Yeah,
right? That's how you pronounce it. Not Louisville or Louisville. It's Louisville.
I just say Louisville.
Yeah.
I just say Louisville. Louisville, they claim is not Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan.
Why don't they claim it's Kentucky?
I'm a UK boy.
Okay.
Because they think it's just, they just want to be complicated.
So we got tickets. Now, I've never done it. Yeah, I got a stack of mint julep cups because I've been going through them all. And we were like, where are our tickets? So we got tickets to the infield. Now, it had been raining all day. It's just mud everywhere. Once we got into the infield, it's this giant party. And we realized you can't see any of the horse races in the middle of the infield. Now, you can bet on them all day long.
Yeah, of course.
But so we got guys running across the Porta Johns. We got dudes flying down these mudslides and stuff. It was, my derby experience is not what you see on TV. I think I might have saw an ass of a horse in the last fucking race and bet once, but left there with a stack of mint julep cups.
Did you have a good time?
As I think I remember.
Yeah, that's a good time, man. It's better not to remember sometimes.
But the down, I mean, it's
this past Derby was super rainy and muddy. We just got a lot of rain here this year.
Yeah, and that's the start of the Triple Crown, right?
Yeah.
So it's that, then Churchill, and then
the Oaks.
Okay.
They have the Oaks, the Derby, and then the Derby, and then they have Preakness, I think is what
the Preakness, yeah.
You know what you'd actually be surprised about Kentucky? There's like a shit ton of famous people from here.
No way.
So many.
Like you.
I would no, famous. I'm just a TikToker. Mac, on your phone, get on your phone while we're talking. Just in the
producer
meantime.
Mac, come on now.
All right, and look up famous people from Kentucky.
I think 5 on the Diesel comes up first.
Who?
5 on the Diesel.
But there's a lot of people. But name off a couple.
Johnny Depp, Jennifer Lawrence, George Clooney, Josh Hutcherson, Billy Ray Cyrus, Abe Lincoln, Muhammad Ali.
Abe Lincoln's from Kentucky?
Yeah, I knew him back in the day. Actually, he's a good old
I
fella.
don't know a bunch of these names, but they're all probably very famous people.
Y'all ever seen that little boy that knows everything about a tractor
What? No.
on TikTok? You don't
Oh,
see
the
that?
little kid, yeah.
The comment section's like, he let me borrow a heating transformer back in
40 years.
He's a good old dude, man.
That kid is something else.
See, that's actually impressive to see that.
The knowledge he has of old tractors is just wild.
It's wild, dude.
Yeah, we got to get him on the podcast.
Dude, that kid, he reminds me of the Yodel kid. The one that yodeled in Walmart. That kid owns a Subway now.
Really?
I think that's what he did with all his
God bless America.
God bless America.
So, let's get back on track here,
yeah,
all right? We had, so obviously you hit the TikTok boom, right, and what have you, but like, what made you get started into it?
I always wanted just to be funny. I always liked making people laugh. I tried Facebook, tried Vine, tried every social media to try to go viral on. And
The best coffee in town, by the way.
Is it good? Gas station coffee is the best. And it's free with fill up.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. It's not. Don't come here and try to get free coffee. But yeah, I tried everything. Wanted to act a little bit, you know what I mean? So I just started recording on my phone, and I'm gonna be that average guy that got a bunch of TikTok followers, and it happened around COVID, I guess. It didn't. It happened. I went viral on my first video before COVID.
Okay.
And then after COVID, I just kept rolling with it, man. Be honest with you, it's like you get such a dopamine whenever I can't even express how I felt when that first got like 8 million views on a video. How my phone, I just kept looking. I had to turn my notifications off.
Yeah,
it's such an awesome feeling just going
when your phone
viral,
dies
man.
from notifications. When your phone dies from notifications.
I thought you said a bunch of guys just notifying.
Yeah. Tell me
That's
more about
pretty
that.
cool too. Told you about that zipper, right? It wasn't mine. No, it's cool. It is. It's a cool feeling.
Yeah.
And then I just ran with it. Be honest with you.
Yeah.
I still got to work. Still get to work at my gas station. Work with my dad. So it's actually a blessing. But I stayed consistent with it. Was probably the main key.
Actually, that brings up a good point. As I've done interviews in the past, we talked to the Stanley family, American Pavement Specialists, and a few others. The list goes on and on. But like, what are some of the trials? So you work with your brother.
Just my brother and my dad.
It'll be your brother and your dad. But like, when I asked the Stanley family, I was like, how do y'all get along? And they're like, good. Are there any times that you guys don't get along, or has it just always been?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, we do. Sometimes we don't get along.
You got to have a good story.
Me and my brother almost took out the whole Hershey section one day, arguing over where to put the damn honey buns at. He ripped his beard out because they were arguing over politics one time, my dad. But all in all, we get along very well. People are like, oh, you can't. I was just thinking about this the other day, too. You can't partner with family. You can't do this. We are very tight-knit family.
Yeah.
Like, I can truly, with everything I say, can trust my brother, trust my dad with everything. and they can do it the same with me. That's just how we operate, and that's a really, really big blessing to be able to do that.
Well, it's kind of an interesting take too, because in the world where blue collar work and labor is at a shortage. My father had said to me at one point, like, "Hey, I'll help you guys out on the farm," which he does. My kids get involved and whatnot, and you basically have a built-in workforce that you trust. I know there's families out there that have their trials and tribulations, but for the most part, you're either like-minded, and obviously your father and your grandfather kind of brought you into this industry that nothing else, right? You know it their way. You don't know it another way.
Of course.
So there's no teaching you. You've already been taught.
Exactly.
Right? So the way he does it is the way you're gonna do it, and when he's not here, he knows that you're gonna do it his way.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of stock in that, and the fact that like family-owned and operated businesses, when they jive well, are powerhouse.
Of course.
Yeah.
And people like to come in and see a family working too. I mean, it's more meaningful to some people. And he taught me so much. Like, I didn't go to college, right?
Yep.
But I can go operate a business.
Why didn't you go to college?
I believe it or not, he owned a gas station, and I enjoyed working there, and I hated school.
Yeah.
The only college I did was I did air conditioning school for a semester.
Really?
I have a hair handler's license. Yeah. Yeah.
What made you get into HVAC?
That money. They say the money's really good in it, and then honestly, I didn't have the time.
Yeah.
I did a whole semester though. I passed. I got EPA license, OSHA certification. Yeah. I just didn't go to the field, so I technically did a little bit blue collar.
I got the certification.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. They do make a lot of money, and I'm a businessman in a sense. So if I wanted to do air conditioning, I would want to own my company at one point. Which obviously you can't own one right away. You got to learn. Yeah. But that one's always been my favorite, because in the gas station you have refrigerators, and that's what the air conditioning is. Refrigerant, it's all the same field. You got walk-in coolers, you got your units outside. I mean, that stuff breaks down so much.
Yeah.
Because one thing, cooler doors open constantly.
Yeah.
That was our biggest headache ever. It was a damn walk-in cooler trying to fix the either compressor go out or some shit. Well, yeah, it's the worst, man. It's the worst.
I can imagine what the energy costs are on a business like this.
Oh, bro, the electric bills are nuts.
Yeah.
The electric bills are nuts. So yeah, that's. So when you talk about trade work, actually, you want to almost try to learn how to work on some stuff yourself, because you don't want to constantly call somebody to fix stuff. Like breakaway hoses out there, pumps. That's stuff you can do yourself. It's a wrench.
Yeah.
You can break the wrench off, drain the gas out, put a new hose, put a new nozzle on. Yeah. Because believe it or not, people forget that they left their pump in the damn car.
How often does that happen?
That can happen once a month.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
That's
yeah.
Now do they bring it back?
Well,
or are they too embarrassed to?
No, they bring it back. They bring it. If you're responsible for it. They're responsible. You're responsible for it. So if you take the hose with you and the owner says you got to pay for it, you got to pay for it. No, because it's not knowingly.
I had one.
She ran off.
She ran off.
Small town. You catch anybody in a small town.
They got her. I told her what it cost. She got in the car. She goes, "Let me give my money in the car."
She drove on.
That was a bad mistake on her part.
Now, that's actually pretty funny too, because you want to talk about like mishaps at gas stations.
It happens mostly when it's cold outside.
Yeah.
Because people want to put the nozzle in and get in their car.
Get in the car
and then forget about it. They get on the phone. They forget they start
and drive off.
So we used to probably get every month or two. We used to get somebody to come in and put either gas in their diesel or diesel in their gas, which for the layman who just drive gas-powered vehicles, it is physically impossible.
It's extremely hard
to put a diesel nozzle, which is a larger diameter, into and they do it specifically.
Oh, of course.
I mean, green gas cap, right, for a diesel. It's a larger opening. The handle on the diesel is green. It says diesel. The one thing you guys got here going for you to keep this from being a problem is the diesel's over there. But
I like those TikToks where they would call their dad or their husband and be like, "I put the green nozzle in there, just f***ing with them," and they go absolutely ballistic.
Yep.
Or the guy charged me $150 for air.
Yeah. Yep. Summer air.
Premium air. You know what's funny? BP, it's opposite. The BP gas station.
Yeah.
It's all green.
No, green is regular gas. Black is diesel.
Isn't that illegal?
I don't think there's a no. No, I don't think it's a regulation that has to be green. It's just a common.
You know what happened to me at one gas station? I was like, these motherfuckers. So the premium was on a different. It was closer to the nozzle hang up.
So that's so funny. You just mentioned that.
But what happened is I naturally hit that, right, and I put it in, and then I realized I'm paying
Pumping premium $4 a gallon.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, shit,
dude,
they got me.
Our pumps are backwards.
So how many people?
That happens twice a day.
Do they come in and complain?
One girl comes in, she goes, no one ever got mad at me because it's like, you know, at the end of the... Yeah, we sold 700 gallons. We didn't think we were going to sell 10.
In 1 month.
I also had...
That's in 1 month.
I also had a hose. One of the hoses, it actually hit the premium button. So when I pulled it out, put it in, it slapped the premium button.
Ours is backward. Yeah. So automatically you hit the first one.
See, Doc Cottle, that's how he got his degree.
Smart man.
Smart man.
One guy, she came in yesterday, she goes,
Is it $4 a gallon?
is it $4 a gallon? I said, the premium is. That's all I said to her. She goes, I pump premium? I said, yeah, you must have accidentally hit the premium. And then a buddy, he's a buddy now. He pumped premium. He come in, he goes, I think something's wrong with your pump. He's a nice guy. He's like, I think you got the price mixed up.
Yeah.
I said, how much is it? I printed the receipt.
Yeah.
I said, you pump premium, dude.
Yeah.
He was like, fuck. He got $20. Really, he got like 2 gallons, 3 gallons less. Do you think premium gas is bullshit?
Well, all right, here's the deal. From a mechanic's perspective.
Okay, yeah, you're a mechanic. Let's hear it from you.
From a mechanic's perspective, I don't know what you guys put in for additives, and not you, but like the gas companies, and you know, there's a lot of people that live by, you know, throwing in all these injector cleaners and stuff like that, and I've had 2 engines blow up on me doing like my personal vehicle. Granted, it was a Chevy and they had lifter problems, but like if you do the maintenance and you follow the guidelines, you know, whether it takes super or whether or not, I don't think there's a difference. I really don't think there's a difference. It's when you get into the territory of like you're going 5,000. We had a lady that went 20,000 miles over oil change.
Oh my gosh!
But granted, she had a Toyota, so those things don't blow up. But like we pulled the drain plug, nothing come out, and we're like, holy shit. And I put stuff back in, and it ran. I don't know how, but
he got on my ass. Always get your oil change on time.
Yeah, but I've been that way, and I've still had mishaps. So like, I do think there's a lot of science behind all this stuff. But like, if you don't slap a bottle of injector cleaner in and think it's gonna work and solve all your problems, I don't think so. I mean, I do know, like my in-laws, they swear by premium. Have always used premium. Their cars run forever. I've been using unleaded all my life, and I mean,
if I'm leasing a car, it's regulated where they've taken premium on it.
Yeah, at least my wife a car and it says to take premium. I was like, we better just put some damn.
But there's also, I mean, legitimately, there's also some shady operations out there, and I don't know if do the oil companies. So when you have a tanker show up, right? Is there actually a world where they could put unleaded into a super premium tank, or they'd have to be
if you're dealing,
it's got to be a mistake. So even
you're not gonna get away with
the tanks with the color.
Yeah.
That they mark them white, red, and yellow for that reason, so the driver knows. And you go to a gas station and you mix up their top. Yeah. And it's all.
But the Vita router still tells you that the premium got gas that it's not supposed to. So it's something that. It would have to be a big mistake for someone to do that.
I had a gas station where they dumped diesel the driver did in my regular gas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's not good.
No, that's terrible.
Is that where they did it?
So we're debunking a lot of myths. So even if the gas station is of not great standing, the driver would have to be in on it. The oil company to some degree would have to be in on it because there's so many checks and balances that like
you mainly have to watch the driver.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be so much. It would have to be a very small company to get away with something like that. Because that company would get in so much trouble if they were doing something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you've heard those myths.
Of course.
Oh, how do I even know this is premium?
One guy, they even customers sometimes make up.
Yeah.
They'll be like, he puts unleaded in his premium.
Yeah.
You know, they should tell you shit like that.
Yeah.
How the hell do you know?
Well, this has been actually very enlightening from the convenience and community side of things to the oil and gas side, which is fantastic. The fact that you still sell home heating oil is unbelievable. I could just see a guy coming down to get a 5-gallon jerry can full of.
I had a store that we had kerosene vouchers, so the state provided a voucher. It was only allowed to be sold at. You only can use the voucher at my store. They provided them money to buy kerosene. And they would have to come to my store. It was perfect because I was like the only store that sold kerosene.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of business from that.
Cool. Cool.
It was like pretty neat.
But thanks to you and your family for, allowing us to sit in the active store.
Yeah.
Like, just saw people coming in and out. And they're like, what are they? Am I on TV?
My candy bar sales went down. They don't want right.
But I'll use this opportunity to, if anybody wants to reach out to you for questions or wants to find you on your comedy channels or even wants to come by some bologna and cheese sandwich, where can they find you?
They can find me on YouTube at Joe Gotti 96, the Joe Gotti. Anytime you type in Joe Gotti or 5 on the Diesel, I'm gonna pop up. I actually just started doing vlogs in the gas station, kind of teaching my community and followers how gas stations operate. So this is actually a really cool podcast to do. I want to thank you guys for coming out. I always love it when BRUNT comes out. It's amazing. You guys were actually one of the first people that reached out when I first started doing content like with that. And we got hooked up. Love the boots.
And what is it? Coddles and Moorhead free coffee with a fill-up?
If you spend $200, I'll give you a cup of coffee.
They used to be, if you fill up, you get a free cup of coffee. I seen it all. I mean, and if you charge it, somebody got gas, $5 in gas for a cup of coffee, that would never come back. Yeah. I mean, it was a thing.
Wow.
It's free coffee when you get
some gas. I do videos over this sometimes. Actually, some gas station. Some people just cannot live with that they have to pay for coffee in small town.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being on the podcast. This has been
Thank
great.
you. No, this is awesome.
Sweet.
First podcast done inside of a gas station, I think.
I'm sure somebody done it.
Thank you guys. Check me out. Joe Gotti, 5 on Diesel.